Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
UFC Fight Night in Las Vegas. UFC Vegas 92. Main event will be a featherweight scrap between Edson Barboza and Lerone Murphy. Don't call him Lerone Murphy. It's a changing of the guard type of matchup, I believe. More of like a test for Murphy to show if he's world class.
I never like the term gatekeeper because there's this negative connotation to it. Because I almost want to call it more like standard keeper or something like that. But Barboza has always been that, like, or maybe not always, but for a very long time now, I feel like if you beat Barboza, that's like the sign, okay, I'm going up in those rankings and I'm going to be a contender for the championship and everything. Because if you look, only the best guys really have beaten Barboza, right? Like Tony Ferguson, Cerrone, like guys that ended up becoming legends.
Dude.
And
Well, let's get into that. Let's talk about Edson Barboza. He is a former lightweight who has dropped down to featherweight, which is wild to me, dude. How he can
and he looks bigger now somehow.
Yeah, he's more ripped.
Yeah.
Dude, he's always been in phenomenal shape. Like he's probably has one of the best bodies in MMA, ever. Like he's just built just tremendously well, you know what I mean? So let me fix this real quick.
And they're all scraps, man.
Yeah.
All these fights are scraps.
He
his loss to Khabib and everything, that's pretty much when Khabib kind of hit stardom, you know what I mean? And
dude, that was terrible. He's on 2-fight win streak. He's the underdog in this matchup, which is kind of interesting. He lives out in Florida, trains out at American Top Team, 38 years old, 5'11", 75-inch reach. And if you look at his resume, dude, he's a BMF. He's one of the BMFs, dude. This is his 30th fight in the UFC. 30th fight in the UFC. Most guys will go their whole MMA career without even having 30 fights total.
Yeah.
He has 30 fights in the UFC. 2-fight win streak. Sadiq Youssef, who was top 15, beat him. Billy Q was top 15, beat him, knocked him out in the first round. Before that, he lost a decision against Bryce Mitchell, which was an interesting fight because Bryce kind of like outstruck him maybe. Like it was weird.
It was weird. Yeah.
And then Giga Chikadze knocked him out in the third round. He beat Shane Burgos, Makwan Amirkhani.
Yeah.
But like if you look at his resume, Justin Gaethje, Dan Hooker, Kevin Lee,
Paul
Habib,
Felder, Dan
Beneil
Ige.
Dariush, Gilbert Melendez, Anthony Pettis, Tony Ferguson, Paul Felder multiple times, Michael Johnson, Bobby Green, Cerrone. What?
It's honestly like it is just a laundry list of just the top guys. It's just insane.
If there's like he's a Hall of Famer.
It has to be.
Right? Like
I
don't know what the criteria of Hall of Famer would be, but definitely he has to be Hall of Famer.
It would actually be dope to see like almost like him Holloway for I mean Holloway would beat him, but you know, like one of those like BMF. You were talking about there being there should be a Hall of Fame wing that was just for like badass motherfucker. You
it's
know,
like a Cowboy Cerrone.
Yeah, exactly. Know? Like that he'd be in that.
Oh, he'd be in it. Like there's a bunch of guys. Like Jim Miller would be in it.
Yeah.
Right? Even though like Jim Miller or Barboza, they never fought for a title. But man, look at the resume.
Yeah, it's just insane.
And 30 fights in the UFC.
Yeah.
And he's gonna be more than that because he doesn't look like he's slowing down any, right?
No.
He's been a top 15 fighter in 2 divisions. I don't know for how many years, man.
Forever.
Yeah. So it's like obviously we know the type of style that he has, right?
Yeah.
He's a striker, dynamic, a lot of spinning kicks, just kicks in general, right? From all angles, spinning kicks. You know, he's most famous for that spinning heel kick on Terry Edom, where it was just like death, right? And yeah, it's just a striker. Takedown defense is decent. It's not the best, but you know, when you're fighting guys like Khabib, most guys don't have very good takedown defense against Khabib, but he's shown decent takedown defense, and in the Billy Q fight, he like the way that he set up the knee, it was like a kind of a type of takedown defense, right? Because Billy Q would come in and he just, you know, swinging punches and it looked like he would go for takedowns, but then that takedown that he went for, you guys got kneed in the face and just slumped, right? But yeah, just you know what he's gonna come out and do. He's gonna strike. He's gonna attack your legs. A lot of kicks.
A lot of kicks, yeah.
And
just even for his age, just a cardio machine.
Yeah, that's a trip, right? And he's in a weight class lower.
Yeah.
Now we go on the flip side. We got Lerone Murphy, who is undefeated.
Yeah.
How do you become undefeated? Like, it doesn't make any sense.
He's 13-0, and he's on like a 17 fight win streak from his amateur days.
And he doesn't even have a fighting background. Like, he was a street kid basically. You know what I mean? Like, he got shot in the face. You didn't know that?
No.
He got shot in the face. Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
He got shot in the face and survived. And then he got into a car accident. He was on his bike, you know, one of those like cycle bikes. And he was into that cycling thing. He got hit. Doctor told him you'll never fight again. This was like 2 years ago during his UFC career, right? And he survived that, came back from that, won. Man, it's just he is a miracle. That's his nickname, right? He is the miracle, right?
Yeah.
He is the favorite in this fight. Like you said, he's on a huge winning streak. 32 years old. He's in his prime. And, you know, I interviewed Lerone like last week. And the way he's approaching this fight is like, this is going to be, he said it like in a joking way, this is going to be a fraud check, right? Am I ready for that level? Is the UFC is giving me this opportunity, main event, 5 rounds, first time 5 rounds, first time main event against Edson Barboza. Yeah. Am I that caliber? That's the way he's looking at it. It's a great mentality to have, right? Instead of just like, I'm going to fucking go knock him out because he's, you know, he's old.
Yeah. Right.
And, you know, and he's going to leave his chin out there. You know what I mean? He like pays a lot of respect to Barboza. Murphy, his skill set is still developing, which is wild to me. Like, he's a top 15 fighter, but his skill development is still going on. Yeah. You know what I mean? A lot of guys are just planted in their, you know, style.
Their style is their style.
Yeah, their style is their style. And they'll bring a little this and that from time to time, but usually their style is their style. Lerone, he's different, man. And he's always out here training. You seen him out here?
I've never met him.
Okay. But he comes out here. He's been out here a couple of times, and he usually goes to like all the gyms. Like he'll go to Tiger, he'll come to Bangtao.
Bounces around.
But you know, he spends a lot of the time here because he knows a lot of the people here at Bangtao. But yeah, a nice dude, very focused. It's hard to say.
Yeah, like, it's a hard one to choose.
Yeah.
It's one of those things where I really don't think it's gonna go the full 5 either way. They both have great striking and everything. They're both knockout guys.
Murphy more of like a boxer.
Yeah.
So Murphy's more of like the boxer. He kicks still, but it's just more kicks are more to set up his hands, right? Yeah. And he has 7 knockouts. He has 0 submission wins. But 7 knockouts out of 13, 14 fights is a 50% knockout rate is pretty damn good.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and
those hands have some dynamite.
Yeah, and
in
then
them.
you got Barboza. He's gonna attack the legs.
Yeah.
Heavy kicking, just spam kicks. It's just that's what we're gonna see.
Yeah,
we're gonna see Lerone working his boxing. Because also in the interview, you told me he's been really, really focused on his boxing the last couple of years to elevate all that stuff.
Yeah. It's hands versus legs in this
exactly.
one.
Yeah, exactly. It's hands versus legs. Who can implement their game plan, and will Murphy wrestle? That's another question, right? Will Murphy wrestle in this fight?
Yeah. I mean, and especially with someone that is still, even though he's at a high level doing that skill development phase and everything, sometimes he might use his hands to set up that takedown and, path of least resistance, man. So I don't know. I I don't really see it going all 5. I think it's going to be a banger.
It's going to be a great fight.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think Lerone has a lot of momentum coming off the Kulabao fight because that was kind of like the test of like who's the better prospect.
Yeah.
He won that decision. Now it's like, is he championship caliber?
Yeah.
Against Barboza.
Because that's the thing, right? Like, you know, maybe just Barboza has just fought everyone and just such high caliber and everything. And it doesn't like, it's to the point where it kind of doesn't matter whether he's won or lost those fights. He's just taken all of those, you know, and he's also outlasted so many of them.
Yeah.
You know, like he's still around and so many of them are retired now.
Gone.
Yeah.
Or just released and doing bare knuckle boxing or something.
Yeah.
No,
so,
you know what I mean, but yeah, you know what? I could see this. I could see a couple things happening. I could see Barboza coming out and just attacking the legs to see if he could just break the legs down. And is Murphy gonna check these kicks? Is he gonna be fast enough to be out of the way when the kicks come? And you never know. You might break him down that way. And then Murphy, he's gonna be trying to time the kicks, especially the low kicks with punches and combinations. And he's going to kick himself, right? Who knows? I just think, like, if Barboza wins, he's going to have to break him down with kicks.
That's what I think, too.
Calf, right?
And I also think if Barboza wins, it's in the 4th or 5th round.
Okay. So you see him going deep into the rounds. I think
just because Murphy's never done a 5-rounder,
exactly,
right? So I think it's going to be like a battle no matter what. And I just think because Barboza's been around and just with who he is, that gas tank and that age doesn't really seem to matter. And so I think because of that, it becomes an experience factor. So I think if anyone sort of like gets the grind out win in the 4th or 5th, I see it being Barboza.
Yeah, it's like Barboza's been in this situation multiple times, man. Against Billy Q, he won that one.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. And then there was what is it? Shane Burgos.
Yeah,
Makwan Americani. Like these are all guys that went in and what is it? Challenged themselves against Barboza and didn't succeed.
Yeah.
But then if you look back at Barboza's career, there's one guy that kind of like has a similar style, and Barboza lost to him in a 5-round fight, I believe.
Oh, yeah?
Let me check real quick. No, this was a 3-round fight. But Dan Ige.
Yeah. Dan
Ige's heavy with the hands. He still kicks, but he's just more heavy with the hands and can grapple.
Yeah.
I think Lerone Murphy wins this fight, and I think he mixes it up. He's going to mix up his hands, and he's going to have to take this fight to the ground to beat him up a little bit, to tire him out. I don't know if it's a finish. You know what I mean? It's hard to say. You say it's a finish.
I think it's a finish.
Yeah, but I don't know if it's a finish. I think Lerone might
grind him out,
and he's gonna have to do what he has to do to win this fight. It's not a fight where he's like, oh, I'm gonna be sexy and like fight of the night.
I think Murphy, if he wins and everything, he actually essentially wins it in the first 3. And I think he basically has to beat in those, first couple rounds and then just be super confident and just ensure the victory through the last 2, if that makes sense.
Set the tone early.
Yeah.
And implement the game plan and make Barboza guess.
Yeah.
Catch the kicks.
Yeah.
Take him down. Even though you don't follow him to the ground, make him get on his back a little bit, right?
Make Barboza catch those hands.
Exactly.
And then I think what it needs to be is a downward spiral sort of for Barboza in order for Murphy to win. Whereas I think Barboza, he could potentially win 1 round, lose 1 round, win, and then end up coming back in the 4th or 5th. But if he's completely gets drowned, then he's drowned.
Yeah.
If that makes sense.
Yeah, this weekend's card, this main event is going to be something.
It's dope.
It's going to be great. I'm going to be watching it.